This is advice that I did not receive before going into year 12. And if I was going to do A-levels, I'd have wanted to hear this. If you have no idea what you want to do, small talk.
No, honey, no.
Hello, so welcome back. I'm Law. If you are new, welcome to my channel. I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe. I'm super close to 100k now, which is insane, and I would really love it if you would join a little YouTube
family.
So today's video is about year 12 advice. Bits you need to know about me before I start this video. I am going into year 13. I'm a media student. I do media production at college. My college is actually a sixth form college, so they do both like A-levels and BTEC courses, so it's a real like mixed environment. My course is a BTEC course, but it is a level 3 extended diploma in media production. A lot of people assume that BTECs are easier, and I promise you now, they are not. It's been hard work, lads and ladies, but we've made it to year 13. Also, I do travel to college, and I did basically go alone to college, so just keep that in mind. By far the question that I got the most was surrounding friendships, how to make new friends. How to make new friends when you have social anxiety, and did you find it hard making friends? I suffer from anxiety and social anxiety, etc, so I totally know where you're coming from. This was literally my biggest fear when I was going into college, that I wouldn't make any friends and I'd literally just be sat there alone for 2 years and not know anyone. My college is like 40-50 minutes away from my house. I don't live next door to my college, so it wasn't like everybody from my school was going there. I found that there are so many people who were going on their own, or who were going with like a couple of friends. Don't set yourself up for like not being friends with somebody because of a certain reason. Everybody changes, everybody goes through stuff, so if you're going and there's people who you kind of know from school but just never really talk to, go say hi. Like, realistically, if you haven't talked to them before, and even if you have talked to them before, you never know what they're going to be like in a different environment. Making friends is so much about effort, and whether you want to be friends with somebody and whether you're willing to put that effort in to go and talk to someone. If you see someone sat on their own or just seeming very lonely or upset or anxious, please go over, say hi to them. Just show to them that they're not alone, and if they want to talk to you, they can, because a lot of the time it's quite intimidating, especially if there are a lot of groups, which there was at my college when I first got there. My main advice for making friends is small talk. So you go up, you're like, all right, how are you? You don't know this person and you never met them before, but realistically, you've literally just got to forget the fact that you might be a bit embarrassed or you might feel a bit nervous. You're never going to put yourself out there to people if you don't try. And that's something that I've really learned whilst I've been at college. As I said, I have anxiety. I understand that it's very difficult with social anxiety to go up to somebody and talk to them. But just know that there are so many people who suffer with it, and there are so many people who feel the same way you do and understand. So if you go up and talk to somebody, that could start off an amazing friendship. One thing that I would say is good to talk about, especially at the beginning of college, is GCSEs. Even though you might not want to talk about them, everybody's done them. That's already something that you've got in common. I'd probably be like,
Hi, I'm Laura. Like, what school are you from? Like, what GCSEs did you do?
Usually teachers will try and provoke conversation, whether that's through like a game or just like sitting you by people you don't know. And although it might seem scary at the beginning, being by someone you don't know, you'll get to know that person and it will be absolutely fine. Don't rule anything out before you've tried it. Just remember, this is a new start, you're starting again, and you're bound to meet new people, vibe with some, not with others. It's completely normal. If you try and make that effort, at least you've tried. Even if they're not your best friend, you can still talk to them. I would definitely be like, oh, what school did you come from? Like, oh, like, are you here alone or do you have friends with you? Like, kind of try and provoke conversation with things that you might have in common. Just talk about like your surroundings, like talk about your work, talk about the teacher, etc. But actually ask about them and listen. Somebody who doesn't have any friends as they're going into college, it's really important to have someone who listens to you and understands you and wants to get to know you. And there is always going to be that person, whether they do the same subject as you or in your class, or whether they're literally somebody who you pass in the corridor and become friends with on a whim. Another thing I would say is try and join extracurriculars. Now this is something that I do wish I did more of in first year.
I was just a bit stressed in first year,
so I didn't really do this, but I would say 100% do it if you can. A great one is ambassadors. So we have college ambassadors. I actually did this for the first year. Must admit, I did only do it really for the first 6 months, but I did it nevertheless. And it was really, really helpful. I met some amazing people. I met my best friend. I had experiences with that I wouldn't have otherwise had. It really built my confidence to work at the open days and talk to parents, talk to upcoming students. That might seem really, really testing for social anxiety, and to me it was really, really nerve-wracking. And on the days leading up to any of these events, I would be so nervous inside and so anxious, but I knew that I had to do it, and I knew that I had to push myself. If you're going to take anything away from this video, just step out your comfort zone, because there are so many people in this world. You never know what could happen unless you try. So step out your comfort zone, do what you want to do, and be yourself, because if you are somebody else,
no honey, no.
Just be yourself, because we spend too much time trying to be like everybody else. You at least owe it to yourself to find friends who love you for you, not who you pretend to be. Laugh if you want to, make a joke if you want to. If somebody doesn't get your joke, that's their problem, not yours, hun. Also, just suggest like, oh, like, do you want to eat lunch, or do you want to go and get a coffee sometime, or like something to spark a conversation, to spark something, because somebody else might really want a friend too. And I promise you there are more people in your situation than you're going to realise at the beginning. I'm going to move on because I've talked about this for 15 minutes. Oh my god. The next question that I got a lot was, how do you choose between college and sixth form? Now this is something that that's the only thing I was sure on. I went to my school, I hated school. It was literally my least favourite time. I hated it. But I knew that I loved education, I just hated my school. Please don't see me, thank you. I never mentioned the name of the school. I knew straight away that I wanted to go elsewhere. But I still had that decision between a sixth form and a college. Open days are so important, and I hope that by this time you have been to at least the sixth form open day or college open day that you are planning to go to. For me, I really just favoured college. I really liked the fact that it was more independent, it was more like a uni environment rather than a school. There were so many different people there. I really chose it because of the course and because of the lecturers. I went to open days, I met the lecturers, and I just got a good vibe. Go where you get a good vibe from, not where somebody tells you is better or this or that. League tables are league tables, but you've got to go where you're comfortable. Just got to kind of look around and see, right, okay, what do I actually want to do? Do I have like a solid, okay, I want to do art? Do I have a solid, okay, I want to do PE, or I want to do music, or I want to do performing arts? Or am I a bit like, don't really know what I want to do yet, but I like this and kind of like this, so this is my option. If you're going down the more A-level route, then a sixth form might be more suited to you. But if you're going down a more BTEC / like a mixture of them, college might be more suited to you. If you have no idea what you want to do, having a mixture between an art, an academic, and then something that is a facilitating subject, I would say is the best option if you're going to do A-levels. This is advice that I did not receive before going into year 12. I'm so happy with my course, but if I was going to do A-levels, I'd have wanted to hear this. I think if you have no idea what you want to do, it's best to keep your options open. So a really academic subject, for example, is English. That could get you into like almost every door. It's one of the most facilitating subjects. For example, English, psychology, sociology, maths, biology, like kind of those kind of subjects. Also take a facilitating subject, maybe take law or criminology or government and politics, something that is quite facilitating and can go in a lot of directions, but is also something that you are actually passionate about and interested in. And then finally, as I said, take something creative. Even if you're not a creative person, it's always nice to have a subject that you really can show your passions off in. So for example, if I'd have taken A-levels, I'd have taken English, Literature and Language as one A-level, I'd have taken Performing Arts as another, and I'd have also taken Photography and Media Studies. I'd have taken 4 A-levels. My English was my academic, Performing Arts was my kind of creative A-level, Media Studies my facilitating A-level. Even though I knew I wanted to go into media, that subject is very, very facilitating. And also photography as just an extra because I really liked it. So I would say 100% just rethink that through and make sure that you are giving yourself an option. But also if you look at the subject and you think, oh, don't do it. Please don't do it. Next question, is there more or less work than GCSE students on a weekly basis? Now, obviously I can only speak from my own experience and my own experience from my subject, because obviously everybody takes a different subject or combination of subjects, so obviously the workload is going to be different. But for me personally, I found that the workload was a lot more for my subject, but that's only because I work so hard. Like I don't give myself a break.
So, Editing Law here. So, I'm just popping in to say my answer to the actual question because I didn't actually answer it. Yes, there's definitely more workload, at least in my opinion. But I think that's like to be expected, like you're at a higher level now. So, yeah, just thought I would come in and say that.
A lot of the time I feel like once you're at sixth form, they kind of respect you a little bit more. And teachers are a lot more respectful of you. At college, you're treated like an adult, and that's the way it is. If you're going to hand it in on time, you're going to hand it in on time, and if not, you've just got to go and own up to and be like, look, all right, I haven't done my work. Like, please don't kill me, thanks. The next question is how to actually prepare for that workload and whether you should do a lot of work now before year 12. Now, what I would say is don't do too much work before year 12. Usually there's like a few tasks that like colleges or sixth form will get you to do before you like actually go. But if they haven't set anything, I would say just make sure you've done a little bit of research, maybe watch a few YouTube videos on your topic and just kind of prepare yourself like mentally for the next year. Definitely don't overwork yourself before you go in, because you could do that and then go in and not having needed to do that much work. So the next thing is organisation, which is such a vital part of year 12. I'm still learning to be organised. It's a stress. Every subject's different. I can only speak from my own experience, but I will say it's so much better to keep on top of it and make sure you're doing it as it's given to you. And I know that may seem really easy, and you might go into the first year like, yes, I'm gonna stay on top of my work, I'm so organised. But honestly, it's hard, okay? Like I'm not here to tell you it's a breeze, because it's not a breeze, and I'm an honest person. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not easy to begin with because it's a new environment, it's completely different. If you're taking new subjects, it's a whole new experience. For me, I took media, so completely different experience. And I think it's really important to realise where your priorities lie. So the first thing that I would say was literally the reason I was able to meet all my deadlines last year was planning. Now, I don't know if there's any more of these left on sale, but if there are, I will link it down below. Please go and support Jack. This is amazing. But academic planners are literally the only reason I stay organised, whether that's like an actual like academic planner or a bullet journal. Keeping something in one place where you can see everything that's going on is so important. If you have a deadline, make sure it's so obvious to you when that deadline is, and make sure it's done a night before, 2 nights before, because I promise you that will save you so much stress and so much anxiety. If you suffer from anxiety, I'm telling you now, if you leave something to the night before, it is not going to help you out. It's going to make you feel worse, and it's going to ruin the days after your deadline. So yeah, I would say 100% get yourself a planner. I'm guilty of not doing this. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm the perfect student, but I did do my best to do things as quick as I possibly could. Not rushing my work, but as in terms of I got something and it was due in 2 weeks time, okay, let's do it today. At college I have a lot of free periods, so basically what I do is work as much as I possibly can in those free periods. I think having a balance between social time and work time is so important. The way that I work is usually in a coffee shop, or usually when I have coffee, basically, because A-levels equals lack of sleep. It might seem nice to work with your friends, and if you have a friend that's particularly focused and will literally just do their work next to you without talking to you, 100% do it with your friend. But if you are easily distracted, or your friend's easily distracted, please have that common sense to take yourself away from that situation. Go and sit in a study room, go and sit somewhere else, in a cafe and anywhere, and just sit and do your work, because nobody's doing it for you. These are your A-levels, and at the end of the day, you're old enough to have your own responsibility over them. But also, please don't use all of them for work, because that is intense. Please make sure you are spending time with friends. Another few questions I've had are how to deal with like mental health / keep your mental health positive during sixth form. I think mental health has kind of become a thing where people think if you're not diagnosed it doesn't matter, which is so wrong. Everybody has mental health issues at some point, and also should look after them. Make sure that you equally split like your work and also your mental health and your physical health. You need to look after yourself. This time is not easy, it is stressful, and you know, you just got to look after yourself. Do what's best for you. Grades are not everything, however they are important, and I will say nobody will care about your GCSE results by the end of year 12, so please don't think too seriously about them. Anyway, I'm going to quickly wrap up this video because my battery is flashing and I really don't want this to run out. Thank you very much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I will see you soon with another video. Subscribe if you're new, there's a lot of content coming. Alright, bye.
Those walls could get knocked down, but missing